Okay, I finished. I finished the painting and I love it so much. It's insane how much I love it. Over the weekend, I went to an estate sale and I got this awesome frame for $1. And it has an original painting in it from 1974 by a guy named Warren. And while this is nice, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to use the frame for one of my paintings. So it has this like double lip, see? And I'm going to take this bit out so that I can just have the nice wood frame. This is one of my favorite things to thrift, is these really great old paintings. You can kind of give them a new life. You know, it's kind of sad getting a painting for $1, you know, from someone's house. But if I wasn't giving it new life, it probably would go into a landfill. So thank you, Warren, for painting this back in the 70s. I'm going to use your frame. I really love your stuff. This is giving me major Pennsylvania vibes. I grew up kind of close to Elk County in Pennsylvania. I think I can pop it out with my hands. No, I can't. Hey, that was easy. That was very easy. Okay, here we go. A nice $1 frame ready for me to make a panel so I can paint on it. Trying to decide, will I want to paint this frame? Maybe. I always keep the little hardware bits because like I buy packs of these from Lowe's. So I always make sure I am a good steward of the things that come into my studio. Waste not, want not, you know? I have this great little box with all of my hardware bits in there, and it opens up. I have staples, a level. In an art studio, you need more hardware than you realize. You also need a lot of tools.
I don't know. Putting words into Mary Oliver's mouth, I don't know what she would have said or felt about that, but to me it felt...
I have a bit of a hard time just like letting acrylic paint go to waste. So I have this butterfly that I cut out of a birch panel, gosh, like 2 years ago. And I think I'm going to give it a quick coat of this cream. And I'm eventually going to paint this like a hot pink to start. But I really didn't want this red underpainting anymore. I kind of wanted a hot pink underpainting. So I want to give it a bit of a fresh start. And plus it uses up this cream acrylic paint. I'm thinking that this week I'd like to paint this butterfly. It's been kind of like getting moved around my studio from place to place. I want to get it painted. I want to put a hanging wire on it, and then I want to either send it off to be enjoyed or hang it up. I don't really get that like feeling of projects lingering. Last year I made this huge butterfly, painted it, shipped it out to a collector, and it was gorgeous. And at the same time, I cut this piece and I never used it. Okay, this is gonna take like 2 seconds to dry because that's how fast acrylic dries, or at least that's how it feels to me. And then I think I'll figure out what colors I want to paint it. I want to paint it really vibrant and gorgeous. I painted this painting a couple years ago. So gorgeous. So maybe I'll kind of be inspired by this piece. I am ready to go with a brand new painting this week. I sketched it out slightly. I'm going to paint an elephant. And you know what? I have never painted an elephant before, which is nuts. I haven't painted in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm feeling like, gosh, I'm gonna have to do some warming up. And I don't even know where my scraper is. This is the worst thing about taking a little time off from your studio. Come in and you like forget about everything. I am most excited about painting the elephant. So that's what I usually try to start with. I try to start with something that is like really thrilling to me because there's a bit of tension when I start a painting. Like It's almost like working out where you don't really want to do it. But then once you get into it, you enjoy yourself, which I know sounds crazy because I love painting. But at the beginning of a painting, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I slowly drift into enjoying myself. So, you know, eat some candy first. And the candy for me is starting with the elephant.
Okay, let's walk along 6, 7, 8, 9. Once you start looking, you see them everywhere. And I think that's one thing I love about
It's hard to see, but I drew a lamp right here. So there's like a little girl reading on the back of this elephant's back. And I wanted a like bedside table lamp. I'm going to have light casting down from this lamp on the back of the elephant. So I kind of had to mix a color that was a bit more gray yellow for this area. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So this is just me figuring out, okay, there is a light source coming from above here. And that means the back of her head will also be lit. And so will her shoulders and the back of her dress. This ear right here on the elephant will probably be catching some light as well. And this is a really fun time for the project because it's just me like discovering what is going to happen next. So I paint with the exact same 8 colors plus white and black for every single painting. The amount of colors that I can mix from these 8 pigments is wild. It's like magic. But when I do this, when I have this small color palette, it keeps my paintings all cohesive. I don't add in like something random last minute. And so whenever you like kind of zoom out and see all of my work together, there is a color harmony across every single piece, even if, it's a floral arrangement next to something random like an animal painting. Because I'm working in the same colors, all of my paintings read in the same family. I really highly suggest you get your color palette nailed down. It makes painting so much easier whenever you basically can know like, well, this plays well with this one and this is how this one mixes. I don't do a ton of thinking anymore about how to mix my colors because I just know how everything goes together now. Painting gray can be super boring and you could just do like all really boring shades of white with black, but we're not doing that. That would not make an exciting painting. So I am mixing so many interesting colors into this elephant so I can make a really dynamic gray. And I'm having a lot of fun. Any chance I get to make a color more dynamic and interesting, I'm always going to try to do it. So like this gray up here is like blue and yellow. When you're far away, it'll read really interesting, but when you're up close, it'll be so interesting. And that makes a really cool painting when you want to get closer and like kind of figure out what the artist did to make this happen.
bunnies and cute little field mice, and it's violent. And it's just stunning. If you're looking at an owl coming in over a field.
It's a new day. I just got into my studio and I left my painting at a place where I was so excited to get back to it. Like, you have no idea. I do this very specific thing where I leave my painting at a place where I am like very thrilled and excited about it. First, it gives me a boost to like come back in here again. I have to come back in here regardless, but it starts my day at a really exciting point. So let me show you how it's looking. I am so excited. Look how gorgeous the colors are on this elephant. I completely love all of these lights and the darks. It is looking really cool. So a few weeks ago, I went into an elementary school. I was asked to come in and do a career day. So I got to come in and I got to talk about being a fine artist and pursuing art as a career. And I took this painting in and I wanted to show it to you because this really points out the thing that I'm trying to show you with this elephant. You want your paintings to be so interesting from far away, but you also want them to be really interesting when you get up close. The elephant is reading really cool with all of these gray tones from far away, but then when you get up really close, you see pinks and greens and yellows. So this is the painting that I took into the elementary school to illustrate this. And it's really cool. When you're far away from this painting, it's really cool. But when you get up close, you'll see that these black stripes are not actually black. They're purple. And whenever I came in with my white and the white hit the black, it turned into this really beautiful creamy lavender. And that is what I am basically always trying to achieve with all of my paintings, that they're really cool and interesting from far away, but when you get up close, you want to lean in and be like, what did she do there? How did she make that effect? So let's get back into painting today. I'm going to add the character in, I think. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm pausing painting to show you her sweet little face. I think it's coming along. I have to decide what color I want to do her hair. I did this one like a reddish brown. This character up here is blonde. That character up there has red hair, and this one has brown hair. I don't know. I always like get to this point and I'm like, I don't know what to do, but I really do like this like kind of vintage style bob that I put on her. I'm thinking maybe blonde would be really cute. This is Editing Abby coming in to talk to you guys while you watch me do some painting. And you know what's so cool? I got online and posted the photos of this butterfly on Instagram pretty much like the day after I made it. And I was kind of planning like, I'll just keep this because I ended up just like loving it so much that I was like, you know, maybe it's just mine. But on a whim, I thought, you know, I'll just offer it real quick to everyone on Instagram. And it sold within like 5 minutes. So if you go and look in my shop, you're not going to find it because I sold it. So thank you for that. I just finished my butterfly and I love how it turned out. It is such a pretty color combination. I used a lot of really gorgeous, thick brush strokes. I need to let this dry and then I have to get this up on a wall right away. It's so pretty. So I'm at this point right now in my painting where I have to decide what location I want to put them in. So I'm thinking like I could put them in, you know, like an outdoor scene, but I think like maybe a building would be a little bit more interesting, kind of like a bedroom. So I have to figure out where my wall is going to be, and then I kind of have to like angle it in so it looks like the wall is, you know, they're walking through the room. I'm doing some thinking out loud here with you guys. So say my edge of my wall is like this, and my floor would have to angle in like this to make sense. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Have to be like that, and then I'd have to angle out like this. Okay. There's a lot of like, what should I do next in every single painting? A lot of discovery that has to happen. I kind of like the idea of, you know, the room going in like this. Once I have my characters set and figured out, I am just figuring out the best place for them. And I'm thinking a bedroom. But this is the fun part, doing the laying out of the stuff. What would be really cool is if I did like a floral wallpaper. Yeah, like she has this like really vintagey dress on. So I could do like a vintage floral wallpaper. Okay, pausing this to figure it out. So a few years ago, I made a painting called Blue Horse Dreams, and this is the sketch from it. And I'm thinking that I want to be inspired by some of my old work to make a little painting. So I just spent a little bit of time figuring out placement, and I'm going to paint from the sketch a new Blue Horse Dreams. This painting was inspired by a Mary Oliver poem that I absolutely adore. I put the horse and the swan on a stage and it turned out so cute. I'm going to do something different for this painting, but I am going to use this as a jumping off point. I brought my butterfly over here, and you remember how I was like, I'm going to be inspired by this painting. I mean, like, look how these colors go so well together. I guess I really was taking myself very seriously when I said I was going to be inspired by this painting. I love it. It turned out so great. Well, it is a new day and I am back in my studio, and it wouldn't be one of my videos if I wasn't wearing this silly jacket that I wear in like every single video. I mentioned this earlier in the week where I purposely leave my paintings at a place where I'm really, really excited. It's like kind of a trick to keep me coming back into the studio. If I don't have something kind of like mid process, I have a really hard time coming back in here, which I know is crazy because like this is my job and also my passion. But if something is kind of left at a place where I'm really still excited to explore the next step, it gives me so much motivation to get back in here and get to work. And I left my painting at the perfect place yesterday. So, you know, in Toy Story, how Andy has this like blue wallpaper with clouds on it? That is where I'm getting my inspiration for the wallpaper in this little girl's room. Since I am completely making my images up out of my head, I have to be like, okay, where is all of this light coming from? And how can I make it seem not so much realistic, but plausible? So the lamp is lighting the back of the elephant. And I know the lamp wouldn't be hitting like certain parts of this wallpaper. So I'm kind of making the clouds a little darker in places. So that is my goal today, to keep working on this painting. But I also want to start something else so that I have another thing that will draw me back to my studio. And I brought my coffee and I'm ready to get to work. This is one of my very favorite times of a painting, when I basically just like get to stand around. I get to listen to a book and or music, and I just get to lean into the painting process. It is so joyful and relaxing and just what a blessing. Making a wallpaper, like an overall design, I am focusing on the angles of my floor. So I put all of my clouds angling back on this side of the wall, this section. And then on this section, I'm going to angle it from this line. So all my clouds will be kind of going like that. So it creates the optical illusion of depth. And that is what I'm always looking for, working to make little adjustments to make the picture more and more interesting, and the cloud angles matter. So one question I get all the time, like in private messages, is like, how do you stay inspired? And I feel a bit like I always have an idea of what I want to make, but I think that's because I am always pushing a painting onto a canvas. When I take breaks from my studio, that's when I feel like I am an empty well. But when I'm working, oh my gosh, one painting always leads me to my next painting. Like after completing this elephant painting, I know exactly what to make just because I spent time with my work. Okay, I finished. I finished the painting and I love it so much. It's insane how much I love it. Check it out. I'm obsessed with the choice of the green floor because it like brings out her green dress, kind of ties all the colors together. I love the roomscape. Everything has been landscapes, or like this one's an underwater scene, but it's still a landscape basically. And this is just like so magical. Oh my gosh, obsessed. Well, gosh, I had so much fun this week in my studio, and I am so excited about this next painting that I have planned. And I am so grateful for every single one of you for coming and joining me while I worked. I'm like so in love with this piece. I'm staring at it. I brought my family in to see it, and I'll have to share a little bit of that. Hey, what do you think of my new painting?
Pretty. I like that one. Is it me?
It does look like you, doesn't it?
I like it, the wallpaper and the elephant.
Oh, thank you.
That's me. And the logo,
What do you think?
too.
Looks good. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I had so much fun, and I cannot wait to see you guys again next week. Bye, guys. I want to say a humongous giant thank you to my sponsors. Just kidding. I don't have any sponsors. Okay, bye, guys.